Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flip Thought Show. It's your host with the most, King Truth, host of Bird, Bing Bow, the one with the word, the one with the flow. And we coming at you live, man, at 4:54, and we got some content for you in store. Uh, Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, in the new Diddy lawsuit. Supposedly, allegedly, they're trying to say that the diddler and Biggie's son were involved in the SA incident in 2020 where they made a man perform oral relations on another man. And so that's what this new lawsuit unfolds basically, and we're gonna hear from a couple different channels on their reaction on it, and they're gonna break it down. I'm sure that they're gonna actually show a little bit of paperwork of the lawsuit so we can break it down ourselves. And appreciate every liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and that notification bell so I know y'all there so I can throw it to you when it's in the air, man. Let's go.
With Diddy, okay? Again, now that's not the part that's really exciting and surprising, okay? Because we already been known about the diddler and everything. But something now just popped off that I think is very interesting for you guys to hear about. And this has to do with, okay, Diddy's family has been getting pulled into this mess, and now Biggie Small's son is getting pulled into this mess as well. And what I mean by that is, well, wait a second, that's like not even the full title. Here's the title. Okay, real quick before we go into our main conversation, the main event for the day. Here's some very interesting exclusive information that just came out, and I still am going, wait, is this for real? You gotta be kidding me, yo. This cannot.
Biggie son, CJ sued. You drove me to see Diddy where he stuffed his meat in my mouth. Whoa.
Be real. So apparently Biggie's son is being added into a lawsuit. Yeah. Diddy is now.
Did you know that nearly half of US TV streaming time is on Roku? With Roku's new self-service ad tool, it's easy to set up your own.
Alleged of being helped by Biggie Small's son, CJ Wallace, in a situation where a man that goes by John Doe, okay, he's hiding behind the pseudonym, claims that CJ Wallace helped Diddy do some crimes on this man. Now, I want you guys to remember, this is the same guy, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw my pop-up video, but in that pop-up video, he basically said that Diddy went skadoosh, okay, in clothing that belonged to Biggie Smalls. And of course, Biggie Smalls at this time, at this point, when the ejaculate happened, Diddy, Notorious B.I.G. had long been dead, okay? But apparently, Diddy went skadoosh into some clothing that belonged to Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about that. Yeah, he went skadoosh into one of Biggie's jackets or something like that.
And then just hurled it onto the specific accuser. This same accuser is saying that he was a victim in another situation that involved Biggie Small's son and Diddy. Now, don't worry. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Please understand, this is some weird-ass ish, okay? What in the hell is really going on here? And I'm still trying to understand. I'm literally trying to wrap my mind around this whole thing, okay? Because this guy's saying not only was he attacked once, but he's been attacked twice. And the second time, Biggie Small's presence was still involved. One was the shirt, and now you got CJ Wallace, Biggie Small's son, being involved in this as well. I don't know what's going on. Okay? I really don't know what's going on. But apparently he said that Diddy, like, you know, put his, you know, his manhood, put it in his, you know, in his gob. Okay. And I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to make of this one. Okay. I really don't know what to make of this one. So let's take a look at this. This is insane. Before we go into the epi and the Ghislaine and in the you know what I mean, because we are going to be about that ad nauseum here in a second. All right, but this just basically fell on my desk right before we started this show, and I'm like, I can't not talk about this. And yes, Medusa, I agree 110%. He is most definitely flipping in his grave right now, because again, it's like, wait a second. This dude alleges that Diddy finished on his clothing, and then not only just that, his son is involved, is one of Diddy's goons bringing in these people, making them become victims of SA and SB. That doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying?
What is SB? Oh.
It just doesn't make any earthly sense. But okay, we here. We going to talk about it because this is something that is really going on. Okay. But dear God, what an insane situation. So the person that's accusing Diddy, this is this, like I said, let me remind you, this is the same dude, okay, that accused Diddy of tossing this wet towel, or wet Notorious B.I.G. t-shirt. Okay. Let me just remind you. He finished, wiped himself clean with allegedly a Notorious B.I.G. t-shirt or a shirt and tossed it on him. Just, you know what I'm saying? Goo, right? So he's saying the same dude. This is the same dude, okay? He's also claiming that Puff had a noticeable accomplice acting as a henchman during a separate SA incident. Biggie's small son, C.J. Wallace. What in the hell? So this is C.J. Wallace, okay? Clearly, that's Diddy over there to the right of the screen. All right. Looking like he's just in the middle, near the end of a freak off right there. But again, there's C.J. Wallace, his son. And apparently Diddy is saying, or not Diddy, this John Doe is saying that CJ is one of his goons. According to the complaint filed during the 4th of July holiday, John Doe claims Biggie Small's son was among a group of men who lured him to a Revolt TV location in 2020 via a Combs Corporation vehicle, where he says he was then ambushed and led to another room where Diddy was waiting.
This is nuts, homie. You hear this shit? This shit is crazy. Definitely Biggie. Shit. Definitely Biggie shaking his grave, man. That's crazy as hell. It's nuts.
What if your website's success was only limited by one single thing? Privacy regulations.
As John Doe's head was held by others, he claims Diddy attempted to stuff himself, okay, if you get what I'm saying, stuff himself into the plaintiff or into the accuser's mouth, all the while screaming at him that his days working for Bad Boy were over as punishment for clashing earlier. So apparently Diddy was screaming at the guy while his, whatnot is in this man's face. I'll just say that. Okay. So this John Doe believes that the CC, the Combs Corporation team, okay, snapped a photo of the actual event as humiliating evidence, and says when he was able to escape back to the vehicle's location, CJ and an entrepreneur by the name of Willie Mack and other individuals were there to transport him home. So after all of this, he goes and he gets SA'd by Diddy. People are holding his face down there as Diddy does his thing. As soon as everything is done, the same people that were there, including CJ, Biggie Small's son, take him back home? Weird. But moving on. He claims he was forced to ride home with the taste of Diddy's snap. His paperweights. Okay, the taste of Diddy's paperweights still lingering in his jaws. Who wrote this article? Oh, dear God. In his jaws. So he had his... Yeah, it's kind of gross. But he's like, I remember. And even afterwards, it's, do you have to let it linger? So apparently it was lingering all up in his mouth after the whole situation went down. This is what this guy's claiming, by the way. This is what this guy's claiming. The lawsuit claims that the attack peaked a few days earlier with the this peaked a few days earlier with the Biggie t-shirt. The Biggie t-shirt toss. Okay? And another sit-down meeting with Diddy allegedly told John Doe out of the blue that he was going to F the ish out of him and unexpectedly put his hands on his privates. He claims CJ, Mack, and others had promised more business opportunities as restitution for his issues with Diddy, but it all turned out to be a ruse to just get him AR'd. So John Doe is now pursuing damages from CJ and other defendants as well. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it respectfully. I don't know if I fully believe this one. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. We gonna keep it real. Let me just be real. If there really is a photo that was taken and that photo still exists, then have mercy. May all these men who are involved in this situation get sued. And if it's within the statute of limitations, because apparently this happened in 2020, so maybe it's within the statute of limitations. If that's the case, may they all be thrown in prison. But there's something about it. It's kind of the thing. The problem I have with some of these lawsuits, it's the after. It's the after. It's the, oh yeah, and then this too. Oh, I forgot to add this too. Now, here's the thing. I haven't seen the lawsuit, and maybe the lawsuit says everything in one fell swoop, right? Maybe it says it all. But there are some times when people add more. Like the whole thing with Kanye West and the Lauren Pisciota situation, right? She added more things later on. She's like, oh no, I was ST'd and I was held against my will and this and this and that. And I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe Lauren. And I guess I got to say the same thing with this John Doe, but at the same time, the fact that it is an added after the fact feels a little sus to me. Okay? Like that makes me feel, this gives me pause. Like, again, there's other allegations that are out here made by other victims, and you go, man, that's crazy, and may he burn, right? May he burn in prison. May they throw him under the prison, right? But then there's something about these where it just feels like this came out of nowhere. It's kind of like, I hate to say this, but it's the Ashley Parham situation, right? Like, it's the Ashley Parham lawsuit. And Khaled, we're going to get to the Trump stuff. Don't worry. This is breaking information here too. Welcome to the show. Moving on though. Okay. The thing is like, it just makes you wonder, like the Ashley Parham one, right? That one is so out of left field and so wild that it makes you wonder. It gives you pause, right? Doesn't mean that you don't believe it. It just makes you look back and go, something seems weird about it, right? It just seems.
I think some of it might be fabricated and some of it might be true. with a lot of these allegations on Puff or whatever, some of them just sound way too outlandish to be true, but you never know. The only person that knows is people over there, you know what I'm saying? So, but I would say maybe 50% happened, 50% didn't happen. I'll say that.
A bit weird, right? So when I look at something like that, and especially something like this, I'm like, why wasn't this reported a couple days ago when it was reported about Diddy finishing in a Biggie t-shirt and tossing it on the dude? Why wasn't that added later on? Like, why wasn't that added in the first place? Now it's being added. Oh yeah, you know, CJ was a part of it too, and this entrepreneur by the name of Willie Mack, and you know, Diddy did all these other things to me. Blah, you know what I mean? It just seems a little suspect. That's just me, right? If this is true, my dear God, this is terrible. But like I said before, we're going to see a lot of people that are telling the truth, but they're also going to be overshadowed by a lot of people that are just trying to grab a bag. And that's what.
Yeah. For sure. A lot of people are going to be telling the truth, but some people are going to be there to capitalize some people are going to be there to capitalize off of it for a bag. And sad thing is, you can't tell which is the one trying to get the clout and get a bag from it and which one is true.
What is so sad about the situation? Because it's so easy for us to sit here and, you know, believe every single person. It's so easy for us to do that because we're good people. But then there's this other part of me that's like, well, how do we know for sure that this is 110% true? And it makes me feel bad. I feel terrible feeling like that. Real talk. I feel terrible feeling like that and even asking that question. But when you hear things after the fact, it does bring up and spark some serious red flags. Doesn't that do that for you too? Just a little bit? Like I said, I'm not sitting here saying that this person's 110% lying or anything, but it does give me great pause. I get vexed, okay? It vexes me, you know? And then the fact that you're hearing about Biggie again, and this time it's his son involved, that's some wild stuff, y'all. That's some wild stuff. But I don't know. You comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. You know, let me know what you think, okay?
All right.
So you've been here a week now. How would you rate Earth out of 10?
Probably a 3. No universal Wi-Fi, and I keep getting sunburnt.
Now, I'm loving the creativity that I'm seeing in AI at the moment, and if you're anything like me and can't get enough of all of this trending AI video, then hang tight, because I'm going to show you exactly how you can start to create them for yourself. First, head to VideoGen on Envato and select the Generate Audio button. Then type in the prompt, Vox Pop style street interview with an alien in New York City. Then hit the Enhance Prompt button and watch the magic really happen. There you have it, trending AI videos in
CJ Wallace has been accused of facilitating an alleged sexual assault by Sean Diddy Combs. The complaint, filed on the 4th of July by an anonymous man, claims that CJ helped Diddy carry out the alleged assault. The accuser alleges that CJ was part of a group.
You see what he's doing right there, y'all? You see the symbolism? That right there should tell you something.
That lured him to a Revolt TV location using a Combs Corporation's vehicle. The complaint also claims that humiliating evidence was obtained during the incident, and that CJ was among those who took the accuser home afterward. This is the same man who previously accused Diddy of one of Biggie's old shirts and throwing it at him. The accuser says CJ and others promised him business partnerships as compensation, but claims it was all a ruse that led to sexual assault.
the significance of this legacy, like probably around 15. I want to say 15 when it really set in, like when my grandma sat me down, talked to me, like
Diddy told her he was gonna kill Biggie. She knew it was gonna happen. She was purposefully not by her husband's side that night.
When you have such a history with Diddy who's being honored, what is a moment that you look back on in the past and you're like, man.
Damn, why she looks so damn scared to answer that question? Stevie looking at her like, bitch, you better not say the wrong thing.
And if you could have told us then we'd be at business party, you was gonna be honored, like we would have been shook.
It was Little Big, Little Diddy, CJ.
Okay. No. Whatever.
Just Little Diddy. We just out here doing what we do.
So Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, is saying some things that have people seriously talking about his mom, Faith Evans, and her connection to Diddy. So according to what's going around, CJ basically hinted that Faith might have betrayed Biggie and that Diddy had something to do with it. Now, CJ has always kept things low-key, but sources close to him are saying he never believed the official narrative behind Biggie's death, and he suspected Diddy had something to do with it. And according to these sources, CJ believes Big was surrounded by fake love, and that some of those people were inside his own house. And then there's the Stevie J angle. Remember when Faith married him out of nowhere back in 2018? Well, CJ was not happy about it, and he publicly talked about being hurt that his mom married Stevie. Faith didn't even tell CJ she was getting married. In fact, he found out about it the same time we all did on social media. And what makes this even messier is that Stevie J is actually CJ's godson. Now, if you've been following all the
CJ is actually Stevie's godson, and now he would be his stepson by marriage, right? That's
Diddy mess lately, then you already know Stevie J wasn't just some random dude. He was super close to Diddy for years, and he helped build the whole bad boy sound back in the 90s. But here's where it gets crazy. Rumors about Stevie being on the DL have been around forever, and allegedly, Stevie was one of the guys who used to take part in Diddy's freak-off parties, and it doesn't stop there. Stevie stayed close with Diddy even when things started falling apart. In fact, when the feds raided Diddy's house last March, they found Stevie staying at one of his cribs. So now connect the dots. CJ is hurt that Faith married a guy from Diddy's inner circle, and he's saying Biggie was betrayed by people in his own home. It's not hard to see why some folks think he's pointing the finger without actually saying names. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, because CJ himself has faced rumors about his sexuality, and some sources have even speculated that this had something to do with Diddy and Stevie J being around him growing up.
But I know some folks are kind of said some mean things about your son and tried to say that he was gay. How do you feel about that? 'Cause I think it's rude, and you were just insensitive in these blogs, just talk so about it. Do you have a response to that?
No, I don't really feel a way about it. We know where he is. If he was, I would support him and love him just the same. So
now the question is, did Diddy somehow force Faith to marry Stevie to keep her from talking about Biggie's death? Was Faith blackmailed, or was she just playing both sides the whole time? Let's get into these receipts, y'all.
I know my father is looking down on all of us tonight.
Whoa. Now look at the body language that Diddy is giving CJ. Look. He's side-eyeing him from this eye. He's looking straight at the camera with this eye. He's looking straight at him like, you better not say the wrong thing. He's giving him like a mean.
In all of this love and support,
See, each time he talks about Big, look at Diddy's face.
Sister and I will continue to carry on his name with tremendous pride and live my life by his words.
Yeah. Look at that.
Give it up for CJ.
So there's been talk going around that CJ Wallace, Biggie and Faith Evans' son, has been quietly pulling away from his mom. And the rumor is that CJ's been keeping his distance ever since stories started resurfacing that Faith may have known more about Biggie's death than she ever let on. Some folks online are saying Faith was way closer to Diddy behind the scenes. And allegedly, she knew the night Biggie got wasn't just bad luck, but that it was a setup. People are pointing out how weird it was that Big didn't want to go to LA in the first place because he knew how tense things were after Pac died. But Diddy kept pushing him to go there. Jaguar Wright
Yep, he was supposed to go to London, and Diddy was like, "Nah, you gotta go to Cali. You gotta go to Cali. You gotta go back to Cali."
even claimed that Diddy directly told Faith that Biggie was going to die that night.
Ask me how much different Faith life, her whole life look, career look. Diddy told her he was going to kill Biggie. She knew it was going to happen. She was purposefully not by her husband's side that night. It happened, and she was told she had to lie about it.
Now, mix that with Faith being tied to both Diddy and later Stevie J, and the fact that Faith still hasn't publicly condemned Diddy, and the pieces start to look really shady. Fans also noticed that CJ rarely posts with or about Faith anymore, hasn't celebrated her publicly in years, and keeps things really surface level when it comes to her. What's also interesting is Stevie J's role in all this because, as Jaguar pointed out, Faith and Stevie never made sense as a couple. The same way Faith and Biggie didn't make sense. And according to Jaguar, Faith was basically used by Diddy as a pawn so he could get rid of both Pac and Diddy and keep profiting off of Biggie's music.
Let's be honest about Faith Evans. How does a woman with that much talent end up married to somebody like Stevie J? Really? Or maybe years ago you decided to be a hip-hop plant because you didn't think your light-skinned face was ever gonna get a real shot. And so you took that shot. You were a single mom and your back was up against the wall. That lie held up until that boy turned 18 and he started having ideas of what he wanted to do, what he inherited. Because the paperwork was set up for Faith to not be able to receive $1 from Biggie's estate unless it was for little Christopher.
At California Virtual Academy, we prepare students like yours for the future.
And she only had one child with Christopher. The other children who required taking care of and feeding and all of that, all of them couldn't be fed off of Christopher Wallace's money. They weren't his kids. See how that works? Right. It didn't make any sense. Her and Biggie. Yeah. It didn't make any sense to anyone. It shouldn't have made any sense to them because they were married in 10 days. It's funny, when you ask Faith how long her and Biggie was together before they got married, the story changes every time. I'm not saying that she didn't develop feelings for him. I'm not saying that she didn't care about the father of her son. I'm saying she was hired for one job. Her being involved with Pac in the midst of all of that. But she didn't know Pac was Pac. I mean, come on, none of it makes sense. What really does make sense is that Diddy has had a long career of using to trap into making them do what he wants to do or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London?
Now, if you were around during that time, then you know Biggie and Faith really never made sense. And she even wrote in her book that they were never together and he was always allegedly cheating on her. Of course, that doesn't mean Faith actually set him up to be killed. But it raises some questions about her connection to Diddy and how much she really knew about Diddy's alleged plan to get rid of Biggie and Pac. So here's a little background. Back in 1993, Faith moved out to LA and started doing backup vocals for R&B singer Al B. Shore. And shortly after that, she found her way on Diddy's radar. Diddy brought her in to lay down some background vocals. And apparently, just after one studio session, he signed her right then and there. She became the very first woman artist on Bad Boy Records, which has always made some fans wonder what really went down behind the scenes.
So everybody could hear me. So when I went in and did these 2 lines and rearranged them, I asked him, Mr. Puff, you mind if I change it around a little bit? And I did, and I added all my arrangements and harmonies. And when I came out, he asked me, did I want to sign his new label? Like, just like that.
So in 1994, the same year Diddy signed Faith to Bad Boy, she met Biggie Smalls at a photo shoot. And the craziest thing happened. They ended up getting married just a few weeks later. Around the same time, she was doing background vocals and co-writing songs for Mary J. Blige's My Life album and Usher's debut. And on top of all that, she was working on her own music. Her debut album dropped in August 1995 and blew up with hits like You Used to Love Me and Soon as I Get Home. It went platinum, selling over 1.5 million copies. Then in 1996, Faith and Biggie had a son, CJ Wallace. But by then, things between them were already getting messy. Biggie was out here cheating with multiple women, including Lil' Kim. And according to the rumors, Faith got back at him by hooking up with Tupac, allegedly. That move pulled Faith right into the middle of the East Coast, West Coast beef. And we all know how that ended. 2 rap legends gone way too soon. And a whole lot of unanswered questions. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac was shot and killed in a drive-by in Vegas. And just 6 months later, on March 9th, 1997, Biggie was down in LA. And after Biggie's death, Faith started speaking out about how Diddy treated her during that time. In an interview with the New York Times, she said Diddy started acting controlling and weird, even making her go tanning every other day. Puff used to walk me to the tanning salon every other day because I was pale and he wanted to tan me up, Faith said. And he told me he wanted me to walk out of the house and look glamorous all the time. Another thing that got people side-eyeing Diddy is how fast he moved on after Biggie died. Right after the funeral, he was already pushing Faith to perform I'll Be Missing You with him and Sting at the 1997 MTV Awards. And Faith said she wasn't ready at all. She was still in deep mourning, but Diddy kept pressing her until she finally gave in. Faith told the Times, when he wanted me to sing I'll Be Missing You at the MTV Awards with Sting, I didn't want to do anything. I was still grieving. But he got me on the phone and was like, listen, you ain't about to F up my thing. I thought my crying would work, but he persuaded me to do it. Now, around that time, a lot of people were already whispering that Diddy might have had something to do with Biggie's death, or at least he knew it was coming. See, Diddy was the one who told Biggie to go to LA, even though things were still hot over there after Tupac's murder. Former Bad Boy executive Kirk Burrows claimed that Biggie was actually supposed to fly to London the day he was killed. But last minute, Diddy made sure he stayed in LA.
He was supposed to leave that early morning, go to London, and we would be out there for 2 or 3 days, and then he would go back to New York and go home. Diddy called Sean P. Diddy, whatever his name was during that time, called late Friday night, early Saturday morning, saying he's not going to London. Call Arista, cancel it. You go. You represent it. You go. He's not going. He wants to stay here in LA.
And even Biggie's mom, Valletta Wallace, had her doubts. And she wrote in her memoir, I believe Sean loved my son after he was dead. I used to tell Christopher all the time not to trust Sean. And while Valletta never came out and directly blamed Diddy, in her 2020 interview on The Breakfast Club, she admitted she still wants to strangle some of the people who were around Biggie back then.
You know, some of some of his associates, I still want to strangle them.
Now, going back to Faith, she's hinted here and there over the years that she didn't love how Diddy acted after Biggie's death, but she never really cut ties with him. She stayed close, kept working with him, and even praised him publicly.
Puffy gave you your start. Now P. Diddy.
Yes.
Well, how do you think of him? P. Diddy or
I still
Puffy?
call him Puff.
You still call him Puff? So he gave you your start and you're still great friends?
Yeah, I actually saw him the other night. I stopped by a studio session he was at to tell him that I wanted him to come to my show at the House of Blues next week. So
Yeah, we keep in touch. He sends my kids Christmas gifts.
Now, fast forward to 2018, and out of nowhere, news breaks that Faith got married to Stevie J in Vegas. And this move caught everybody off guard. TMZ reported at the time that even their families had no clue this was happening. No one had heard a word about a wedding, not even a rumor. Faith was supposed to be in LA prepping for a trip to London, and Stevie was in Atlanta filming Love and Hip Hop. And suddenly, they're hitched in Vegas. Sources told TMZ that the people closest to them were not happy, especially their kids. TMZ even reported that Biggie's son CJ was especially upset because Stevie J is actually his godfather. On top of that, insiders revealed that Stevie showed up just a few days before the wedding and told Faith they needed to get married right then and there. And one source said that's because Stevie knew if Faith gave people a heads up, her friends and family would have tried to shut it down. And looking back, this low-key sounds like the kind of manipulation Stevie could have learned from Diddy. So yeah, like I said, this whole marriage made zero sense, especially if you've heard those rumors that Stevie J wasn't really into women. And don't forget, even after Diddy got hit with that federal indictment, Stevie was still out there defending him. He even went on TMZ after the raids and said he never saw Diddy do anything shady. Plus, he called out 50 Cent as an Uncle Tom for speaking against Diddy.
I don't know whatever someone does in their bedroom, that's what they do. I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm just here to say that I've never seen my man doing anything foul like they talking about. And then it's like with guys like 50, you know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tom cats like that. I just look at it as, he wants to bring the black community down worse than anyone else.
Now, going back to CJ Wallace, fans are also now starting to wonder how much influence Diddy and Stevie J had over him. And they're also wondering why Faith let Diddy spend so much time around her son while he was growing up.
Josh, brother. Lil T-Rock. It's Lil B. Yeah. Yeah, but we having a good time, man. Look out for these kids, watch them on the rise. We just on the check-in, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to show y'all how we doing it. And how the fruit don't fall that far from the tree.
Knowing what we know now about Diddy's sketchy behavior behind the scenes, especially around young artists, it's hard not to be suspicious. Diddy became a major figure in CJ's life after Biggie died, and Faith was right there the whole time, part of that inner circle, which means she had to have seen or at least heard about all the crazy stuff Diddy was up to. And still, CJ was around Diddy a lot, sometimes even when Faith wasn't around. So with all the new info coming out about Diddy, people are definitely starting to question the choices Faith made back then. But let me hear your thoughts on all this. Was Faith just doing what she had to do to protect her son and survive in a shady, male-dominated industry? Or was she willingly playing along with Diddy's demands to keep her career alive? And what about those rumors that she knew about the plot on Biggie's life before it happened? Allegedly. Leave your comments down below and then check out this next video.
Sometimes, the only thing more difficult than running a business is
coming in from.
Man, that's a whole bunch of shit, man. So basically, Stevie was CJ's goddad. He ended up getting married to Faith. Faith let CJ be around Diddy at a young age, even when she wasn't around certain times. Now CJ distanced himself from her because he's starting to figure out that she didn't tell the truth about her involvement in Biggie's death.
If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I'm going to let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun. Hey, Joe Point, without even saying that. He could have said, look, man, he forced it and boo boo. You know, he could have said, Diddy forced it in his mouth or whatever, and that's it. He didn't have to say Diddy's balls was lingering in his jaws. The taste of Diddy balls was lingering in his jaws. Ah, man. This is the case of the centuries. This is the wildest. All right, man, moving on. The lawsuit claims the abuse peaked a few days earlier when the Biggie t-shirt toss incident and another sit-down meeting where Diddy allegedly told John Doe out of the blue that he was going to F the shit out of him and unexpectedly groped his genitals. Let me go back to something John Doe said where he's talked about escaping. So he talks about how he was kidnapped by Diddy's henchmen. They took him to a remote location, a remote revolt location, TV location, in 2020, in a Combs Corporation's vehicle, where he says he was then ambushed and led to another room where Diddy was waiting. As John Doe's head was being held by others, he claims Diddy attempted to stuff his penis in his mouth, all the while screaming at him that his days at Bad Boy were numbered over a punishment for clashing earlier. As a punishment for clashing earlier. John Doe believes CC team snapped a photo of the event as humiliating evidence and says he was able to escape back to the vehicle. CJ, he was able to escape back to the vehicle's location. CJ, an entrepreneur named Willie Mack, and other individuals was there to transport him home. If they kidnapped him, took him to a remote revolt location to have so Diddy could have his way with him, why would they let him escape? Why would they? Okay, he escaped. Okay, we're going to just drive you back.
I think it said actually that they let the assault go down, and then they took him home. It didn't say nothing about them letting him escape. They just transported him back to his home, and the people that transported him back to his home was Biggie's son and Willie Mack.
Back home like nothing happened. Come on, man. Come on, bro. If you're gonna say this, you gotta lie to me and make it sound fly to me. This don't sound right. Lie to me and make it sound fly to me, man. So he gets kidnapped, forced into this room at a remote location where Diddy is waiting to get his balls appetized. After that happens, he breaks free, runs back to the vehicle that brought him where he was, even though these are Diddy goons in the vehicle. Allegedly, CJ, Biggie's son, is one of the goons. And instead of them saying, the hell you doing here? Get back in there. They decide, okay, we're just gonna drive you on back to the crib. You know, you went in there, took it. Oh, we're just gonna drive you on back safely to the crib. Come on, man. Come on, bro. I was born that night, but not last night.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
Like I said, some of it does sound like it was fabricated. Some of it sounds to be true.
Meet Base 44.
Let's move on. Dude claims CJ, Mac, and the others had promised more business opportunities as restitution for his issues with Diddy, but it all turned out to be a ruse to keep him raped. John Doe is pursuing damages from CJ and all other defendants. Diddy's legal team says Mr. Combs' trial and acquittal on trafficking and RICO charges proves what we have been saying all along. Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone. That people continue to broadcast false accusations, no matter how heinous and uncorroborated, is unfortunate. But Mr. Combs will not back down. He will fight for as long as necessary to win his full vindication. I really wish I could unread some of the stuff. I wish I could unread it. Those conversations and that say he was ambushed and led to another room where Diddy a few days earlier with the Biggie t-shirt toss incident and another sit-down meeting where Diddy allegedly told John Doe out of the blue that he was going to F the shit out of him and unexpectedly groped his genitals. He claimed CJ, Willie Mack, and the others had promised more business opportunities as restitution for his issues with Diddy. But it all turned out to be a ruse to get him raped. It all turned out intimate relations with people who work for you. That's why you do not have, intimate relations with people who work for you. Sometimes that can be tough to do, but you got to think about it overall. What's your goal? I ain't letting no money. I don't let that come between my money, man. Another thing I don't do. I do not mess around with people that I do business with, women. I don't do that. I do not do that. Under no circumstances. That's that man, woman. He ain't never got to worry about me, ever. I don't care. And I will tell on her ass, too. I'll tell it. Say, man, let me put it like this. The first pass depends on how strong our relationship is. But it's the first pass, I give her a warning. I let her make a decision. Look, man, don't do that. That's a bad idea. And I'll tell her straight up. Do that again, I'm gonna have to let your husband know. Do that, I'm gonna have to let your boyfriend know. And that shut it down right there, just like that. It's over. Never have to worry about it again. Because I don't need no trouble. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble. I don't need no woman coming between my money, man. Don't get between my money. I mean, especially like another man's woman. No way. You got to worry about me.
GoDaddy Point of Sale gives you a powerful POS solution. Get the lowest transaction fees in the industry. Save even more on card processing costs with RateSaver and get up to next business day payouts. Streamline your checkouts with intuitive register software that includes product images and low stock alerts and manage everything from a single dashboard. Plus, you can choose a device that fits your business needs, whether you want to create a great countertop experience with a dual-screen smart terminal or take payments across your business with the handheld Smart Terminal Flex. With powerful features and devices that fit your needs, GoDaddy brings you point of sale that works for your business. Get a free smart terminal today.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. You just need a concept and a way to record it. Here's how it works. First, go to riverside.fm and open an account, and then you'll be able to capture high-quality video and audio from practically anywhere in the world. When it comes to editing, Riverside is perfect for beginners. Even if you have zero experience, you can use their AI tools and intuitive editing features to create a professional-looking result. You can get transcriptions automatically and use them to edit like a doc, or you can use the chapter timeline feature, which makes it way easier just to skim and scan. Ready to share? Well, it's okay if you don't have an audience yet. Everybody starts somewhere, and Riverside has perfect tools to help you grow your audience, like live streaming if you're into that, or you can use their AI tools to create automated short clips that you can post on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok to increase your engagement. Your podcast really is just one click away with Riverside. Just bring your idea.
It's been a long time, so I can share this story with y'all. So my cousin, woman, this has been a long time. So any one of my cousins hear this, they'll have no idea who I'm talking about. And I got about 100 first cousins anyway, so they'll have no idea who I'm talking about. But I saw my cousin's wife in the club dancing very provocatively with a dude. The dude was all on her. I'm talking about busting her down on the dance floor, humping, grinding, putting everything on her, and she backing it up, putting everything on him. I saw it, and they've been together for real, right? They've been together for years. I thought, I said, damn, did they get divorced or something? What's going on? So I make a call, and I find out, no, they're still together. But they're going through something, right? They're going through it. So she out here wild and disrespecting herself, first and foremost. And him, but first and foremost, disrespecting herself. So when she got through dancing and all that kind of stuff, I walked over to her and I say, look, I don't know what y'all got going on. Woo, woo. I know y'all not divorced. And if and when that happens, you got every right to live your life like you want to. Although I think it would be a bad look for a woman who have children to be out on a dance floor doing what she was just doing. Now, like I say, that's your business, what you're doing or whatever. But it's just, I'm just letting you know what it looked like from the outside. She was mortified. She was so damn embarrassed. And she started like crying and stuff, talking about how it was going through it or whatever. And she just needed a break and all of this stuff. And woo, I'm like, you can get a break, man, but you don't do it like that. You don't do it like that, man. Even if the shoe was on the other foot and it was my cousin behaving like that. You don't do it like that, man. Not no married man. You don't do it like that, man. That ain't how you do it. All right, fam. So the saga continues. You already know. It'll be some more breaking news on this Diddy case in about 20 more minutes, and I will bring it to you. You know how I do. You know, I will keep you updated on this case. But seriously, as the
CJ Wallace has been accused of facilitating an alleged sexual assault by Sean Diddy Combs. The complaint, filed on the 4th of July by an anonymous man, claims that CJ helped Diddy carry out the alleged assault. The accuser alleges that CJ was part of a group that lured him to a Revolt TV location using a Combs Corporation's vehicle. The complaint also claims that humiliating evidence was obtained during the incident and that CJ was among those who took the accuser home afterward. This is the same man who previously accused Diddy of one of Biggie's old shirts and throwing it at him. The accuser says CJ and others promised him business partnerships as compensation, but claims it was all a ruse that led to sexual assault.
What's up? I'm Ring.
I'm Dollar.
And we are Whoa. And big shout out to YTV.
And DJ Y.
Yes.
Live from the studio, baby. And
We
shout
appreciate you.
Thank you for all your love, baby. 24/7 Hip Hop
Always.
Media. Check them out. Let's go.
What up? It's Mr. X to the Z Exhibit YTB. Just keep it going.
Clickbait, bro. He didn't even react, bro.
Okay, y'all. Remember my day ones, twos, and threes. Do y'all remember back here when I was talking about this a long time ago? I said it's strange that Diddy does stuff for Biggie's son, but he don't do anything for the daughter. She out here struggling. Wow, allegedly. The son he helps. Well, word on the street is his son. Diddy didn't turn the son out. Word on the street, and the son was bringing people to Diddy too. Y'all, stay tuned. We about to talk about it. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my day ones, twos, and threes. Thank you to all my new subscribers that's coming in. That means well. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you all. And welcome. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only, so everything is alleged. Some is not, and the Fair Act use is in my description box, y'all. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. So reports are coming out now that Biggie's son CJ is being sued, y'all. Word on the street, somebody is coming forth saying that Biggie's son drove them to Diddy's house and a mingle-tingle, took place, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is what they're saying. The person accusing Diddy of tossing drip drop stain soaked Notorious Big shirt on him is also claiming Puff had a notable accomplice acting as a henchman during a separate mingle tingle session. Biggie's son CJ Wallace, y'all, has been brought into the building. Okay, they are about to sue the pants off of him too. Boy, oh boy, y'all, I'm telling you, this every angle is coming, and this is sad because you know what? There are already rumors, and I'm gonna say there are rumors because I don't know, I wasn't there, but there are already rumors saying that allegedly, P. Diddy has something to do with, the Tupac. There are rumors out here that he has something to do with Biggie because Biggie was trying to leave the label and all of that. You gotta be said it as John Doe's head. Say it right now.
Juggling multiple client sites? Supercharge your product.
This is crazy, y'all. He all the time. This behind the world that they didn't include on so many levels. It ain't no telling what. I don't know. Well, of course he got money because Biggie's estate and stuff like that. But they're having problems with the estate now because they're saying that
I'm just saying, Faith Evans has been stealing money, y'all. This is what they're saying, okay? She's been stealing money too. So I don't even know what's going on with this whole situation. But it's looking like now Biggie's son is a part of the lawsuit, y'all. This is crazy on so many levels. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. How do you turn out your partner's son? Okay? And if he turned out Biggie's son, y'all, you know he didn't turn out Quincy. You know that those kids, I'm just say kids, but they grown now, okay? But they were. And growing up around Diddy, Lord help them, y'all. Lord, all I can say is pray for all of the victims that this man has touched their lives. And I wanted to ask y'all a question. Do you all believe this guy? Do you all believe what he is saying?
Some of it might be.
Because I'm at this point, anything is possible when it comes to Diddy. It is. And I just don't understand why. A lot of this stuff was not entered. And maybe they just didn't do it because, did y'all see the interview of one of the jurors that went to, he been all over, he going on talk shows, all kind of stuff, and doing interviews, and he sounded like he got some screws missing, okay? Maybe they didn't want to put all of their cards on the table because the juror was out to lunch. And who picked this juror, y'all? I'm saying, y'all, who picked these people? Because these people seem like they have some screws missing as well. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. This is a hot, hot mess, okay, y'all? And it's starting to look like
Ready to enter your digital marketing era? Constant Contact's marketing platform offers email.
I'm no longer going to be talking about Janice's wig anymore, because I had a dream that the wig on her head jumped off her head, had Christina's 40,000 teeth, and the wig was chasing me around the courtroom. I'm no longer going to be talking about Janice's wig anymore. I've learnt my lesson. The dream was scary. The wig was chasing me everywhere. The wig done came alive. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's good. I'm no longer, guys, going to be talking about Janice Combs' wig anymore. Yeah. Hey, guys, this one was pregnant and crying on the stand. They brought in everybody. It was the Avengers, and still Diddy was acquitted from RICO. So if that isn't corruption behind the scenes, I don't know what the hell is. That's just the way I see it, because the man had serial numbers of firearms wiped off. The man was clearly exporting and importing substances. The man had evidence destroyed by LAPD in regards to whatever fingerprints were there. Okay. Anyways, the person accusing Diddy of tossing a semen-soaked Notorious B.I.G. shirt on him is also claiming Diddy had a notable accomplice acting as a henchman during a separate SA, Biggie's son, CJ Wallace. According to the complaint filed during the 4th of July holiday, John Doe claims Biggie's son was amongst a group of men who lured him to a Revolt TV location in 2020 via a Combs Corporation vehicle, where he says he was then ambushed and led to another room where Diddy was waiting. As John Doe's head was held by others, he claimed Diddy attempted to stuff his pee into his mouth, all the while screaming at him that his days working for Bad Boy were over as punishment for clashing earlier. John Doe is stating that CC's team snapped a photo of the event as humiliating evidence and says when he was able to escape back to the vehicle's location, CJ, an entrepreneur named Willie Mack, and other individuals were there to transport him home. He claims...
So what? Mm-hmm.
He was forced to ride home with the taste of Diddy's balls still lingering in his jaws. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. I'm just waiting for when we are going to get financial compensation. All of us, for reading through these crazy lawsuits. We need that financial compensation for stress. Because this was not the sentence that I wanted to read today. This sentence and the image has just attacked me, so I need a minute, guys. He claimed it was to ride home with the taste of Diddy's balls still lingering in his drawer, a traumatic experience, and also Diddy's semen in his mouth whilst he was on the ride home.
It's crazy.
The lawsuit claims the abuse peaked a few days earlier with the Biggie t-shirt toss incident and another sit-down meeting where Diddy allegedly told John Doe out of the blue that he was going to F the out of him and unexpectedly groped